And they served every color wine ranging from white, and it slowly went darker white, to the rosés, to the deep reds. And then they had a magnificent dinner, as you can imagine, with all these chefs there. And they prepared a Beaujolais soup, which was magnificent. Never had that, with truffles and little celery.
Those are the things pigs dig out of the ground, right?
That's right.
Yeah. But it's a
root.
Yeah.
Pigs go out and won't even eat them. Pigs dig them up and go, wow! And people go over and say, that must be good.
They're very expensive.
What?
They're very expensive.
I know that.
Yeah.
truffles.
They're little black mushrooms that they snort out of the ground.
No, they're not mushrooms.
Well,
they're like a root.
Well,
yeah.
It's a mushroom family.
Well, just so, same family. Excuse me, we didn't.
No, that's right.
So you had the truffle soup with the
yeah, truffle soup, and then they had a sturgeon that they grilled, and then they chilled it and served it in its own sauce. And with every plate that came out, there was a different wine that you were asked to taste. You know, roll it around in the palate and let it go. And I'm not really, you know, all I know is I enjoy a good wine if it, you know, it doesn't have to be an expensive wine. I was in a restaurant once in Washington, D.C., a restaurant called Reef Gauche. It wasn't crowded then either.
Yes.
Have you ever been to a restaurant and sampled a little wine and had the audacity to send it back?
No, but I've always had the fantasy of taking it and going, spitting it right on the table. You know, just once. Until I could do that, not send it back. Just, this is slop. How dare you serve this slop?
Well, John, I did something close to that, because before we went to dinner at the restaurant, I had a couple of belts, you know?
Yes.
And we were waiting at the bar for our friends to join us, and they were a little late, so, you know, I figured I'd tilt another couple of glasses, you know, and I'm feeling no pain. They finally walked in, and I was like sailing. I was doing Gleason impressions across the table, you know? And I finally sat down, and we ordered some wine, and I was the host, so I ordered a nice, fine Bordeaux. And it came to the table, and I've always wanted to send back a bottle of wine. And I had enough booze in me to try it that night. I rolled it around, and I looked at the waiter, and I said, "How dare you insult my guests with this wine, this cheap wine from the Woolworth? How dare you?" And he said, and he thought I was a connoisseur. You know, he said, I'm terribly sorry, monsieur. I said, they give you the thing, you know, you smell the cork, and you, well, I don't know, you do Jolson impressions or whatever you're supposed to do with it. And I sent it back.
Oh, you
now I'm feeling like no pain, you know. He brings another bottle, and again, I went through all the...
You did.
I said, "Are you putting me on? This is from the same vineyard." I wouldn't have known if it was... I wouldn't have known if it was from Napa Schwartz.
It was a Napa, good vineyard, by the way.
Good vineyard, yeah. Tuesday, a vintage year, too. I must have sent back, I swear to you, 3 bottles of wine, and the waiter comes back to the table now after the 3rd bottle, and he's starting to feel no pain either. I said to him, "What do you do with a bottle of wine?" Because, you know, you can't recork it once it's open. He says, "Well, we cannot put the cork back in the wine, monsieur, so we have to consume the wine." You know, between the chef and the waiters and the boss, we are certainly hoping that you don't care for this wine, too.
Here's what we do. We'll be back. We'll be back. That's funny. So we hope you do not...